Okay, good evening, Miss Denise. Welcome to NID Counselor Talks. So before we start, may you please introduce yourself with your name, your branch location, and how long have you been with NID?
Okay. My name is Denise Washington, and I am the branch manager and HUD-certified housing counselor for NID Housing Counseling Agency, Louisiana. I have been with NID Housing Counseling Agency for almost 2 years now, and I've been doing housing counseling for 10 years now. So I'm very excited to share today.
Okay, so you'd probably have still have a good memory of the first few questions. So what motivated you to become a HUD certified housing counselor, and how has the certification impacted your career?
Wow, great question. So, I personally decided that I was going to purchase my first home at the age of 19. Now, what on God's green earth convinced me or put that idea in my brain, I am still to this day not quite sure outside of, I can only say God. Of course, at 19, I had no idea what I was doing and how to accomplish home ownership. So I just set out to do it and pretty much experienced every horror story that you ever heard about as it pertains to going through the home ownership process. However, once I accomplished home ownership, I was like, wow, this is truly a benefit. This is truly quality of life enhancement, is what I like to refer to it as. And so I said, I have got to help others go through this process and accomplish home ownership without going through all of the horror stories that I experienced on my path. Because as I went on to overcome the obstacles that I experienced, I learned that I experienced those obstacles because I lacked knowledge. Originally, I thought that the path to help others get through the process was estate agent, right? So I did that. And then in becoming a real estate agent, I learned that the true path, or should I say, the true way to be able to assist others, families in becoming homeowners and doing it successfully, and not just becoming, but also sustaining home ownership was by being a housing counselor. So that is why I became a housing counselor. That is why I'm so passionate about what I do even to this day. And it is definitely an enhancement to my career, even as a real estate professional in general, because housing counseling is the piece that provides all of the information, the knowledge, the tools as it pertains to the real estate process.
Amazing. 19 years old. That's pretty early. That's really an accomplishment for you. Okay, thank you. And what specific aspects of the certification process did you find most challenging and rewarding?
Mm. So the part that I would say is challenging, because as I went through the process to become certified, I was already practicing as a housing counselor. So once I got into the certification process, as far as preparing for the exam and things of that sort, I learned that there was a difference between the certification process as far as preparation for the exam and real life counseling. So just finding, that happy medium as it pertains to, just being able to prepare for the exam, answer the questions correctly on the exam, juxtaposed to real life experiences, which are sometimes not the same.
That's true. So I hope you can still remember this, but if you can walk us through the steps you took to become a HUD certified.
Yes. So the first piece of it would be to go to HUDhousingcounselors.com. I believe it's the website where you can go on and create a login there, because that piece has to be done in order for you to be able to get access to go and take the exam, right? Also, there's a lot of information there as it pertains to exam preparation. I'm proud to say that NID Housing Counseling Agency has a HUD certification pathway program, which I'm going to share with you guys about a little bit more. I believe there's another question coming down the line where I'll be able to expound more on that piece of it. But the main thing is just finding the resources to help you prepare for the exam, right? And then passing the exam. Upon passing the exam, then you will have to become employed by HUD-certified housing counseling agency. And once you pass the exam and that agency is able to verify your employment through the FHA Exchange website, which HUDhousingcounselors.com will walk you through that process as to how you get there. And then once your employment is verified, you are officially a HUD-certified housing counselor.
Wow. So it sounded like it's easy, but I noticed it's a long process. Okay, I'm excited to know more about the NID training program, but we can talk about that later on. But before we go on, are there any tips or strategies you would recommend to those preparing for the certification exam?
Yes, I would say to make sure that, the study materials that you utilize to prepare for the exam, that you actually read them and comprehend them, because there are, like, some questions on the test that are kind of trick questions. So you want to make sure that you're fully comprehending the information that you're studying, and then you're fully reading the questions on the exam when you take the exam, because they'll throw one word in there that'll kind of change the entire answer. So just be mindful of that. And then also, I would recommend that as soon as you finish your exam preparation, and then there's also practice exams that you can take. So once you get to a place where you're passing that practice exam with at least 80% or higher, then from there you want to immediately go take that exam as soon as you are ready.
That's nice to know that you can retake the exam. We know that there's a constant change with regulations, policies. Uh, how do you stay updated on HUD regulations, housing policies, and changes in the housing market?
So honestly, I will say one great advantage is being with NID Housing Counseling Agency, because we have our bi-monthly calls where they're very good with keeping us updated on changes and the information that we need to be successful and stay on task with compliance and things that we need to know to be successful. Secondly, I would say, making sure that you're signed up, with different websites such as like HUDexchange.com. That's one that's very helpful with providing, information, keeping you updated with changes. So I would just say making sure that you're in tune with, those resource websites that are out there, and being employed with an agency like us that really helps keep you updated.
Thank you. There you go. And so next question would be, and this will be the last question about the certification process, or it's more about a personal question. What do you find most fulfilling about working as a HUD certified housing counselor?
The thing that I find most fulfilling, and it kind of goes back to, my personal experience at the age of 19, when I didn't know what I was doing, um, and I always go back to, the day that I actually purchased my home. And when I walked in there and walked around, it was like, oh my God, this is mine. And as I begin to learn, the additional benefits of home ownership, such as wealth building, through equity, and, as you're paying your mortgage, you're knocking down that principal, increasing your equity. So as I began to, learn those things, that is what to me is what makes what I do mean so much, because I get the opportunity to literally hold someone's hand, hold an individual, hold a family's hand, as they walk through that process, give them the tools and the resources that they need to be successful, and the information that they need to kind of avoid, those obstacles and those pitfalls that most people experience as a result of lack of knowledge in the process.
Awesome. Okay, so I know that you have been actively involved to our HBCU initiative, and in fact, you're one of the POCs. So, for everyone listening, HBCU initiative is a HUD-approved counseling services to historically Black colleges and universities, Hispanic serving institutions, and other minority serving institutions, as well as their communities and constituents.
So currently, I am working with both Dillard University in New Orleans and Southern University of New Orleans.
And please describe the NID HBCU initiative's efforts.
First and foremost, providing financial literacy, education, the students, as well as faculty, staff, and it even extends out to the community. So the first piece of it is, workshops with covering a variety of topics as it pertains to financial literacy, all the way from, the basics, starting out with what every college student should know about money, budgeting, credit, student loan management, and things that, students should know about student loan debt, rental counseling, education on rental, fair housing. So it's so many different topics that we cover, a variety of topics as it pertains to financial literacy matters. And we do this in the form of workshops, and they're given, like, for example, at Dillard, they were done weekly over a period of time. With Suno, we're currently doing them every other week on Wednesdays. And these are in-person workshops that are given. Sometimes we do them virtually. Just kind of depends on, what's going on with the university. We work with the university as far as the faculty, the staff, and the students. Really cool. We have student ambassadors that participate in the program, just all working together to, identify the need of the university and the community around the university. So we get those scheduled. So there's that piece, the financial literacy workshops. Then secondly, also one-on-one housing counseling is available to the students, the faculty and staff, as well as members of the community. Then also we offer $1,000 stipend award to the students, and they are required to participate in a certain amount of workshops throughout that semester or that school year to be eligible. They write an essay, they work on their budget. So there are several different things that they have to do in order to, be reviewed for the stipend award. NID Housing Counseling Agency awards 10 stipend awards to each university. I'm proud to say this past semester, we actually did 12 awards to the students at Dillard. They were just so phenomenal, stellar students. With the applications that we had, we could not, just cut it off at the 10. So we actually were able to award 12 scholarships to Dillard University students over the past semester. So we've got, and we call that the Young Scholars Award. So that's provided. Also, we have the HUD certification pathway program, which I kind of started to touch on. So if there's students who are interested in becoming HUD certified housing counselors, it's also open to faculty and staff and the community members as well. They are able to participate in, we have study group sessions weekly where they're able to participate, get the information, and learn what they need to know and have that help, to get prepared to take the exam. NID also underwrites the cost of taking that exam for 5 of the students per each, HBCU. So that's our workforce development piece. And this year, in addition to the HUD certification pathway, they also have the opportunity under the workforce development, if they want to become a real estate appraiser, that's an option. Also, they want to become a real estate agent, that's another option. So we've got financial literacy education, we've got workforce development, and then we've got the one-on-one um, housing counseling sessions that are available. And then we also do community outreach events as well.
That is a lot, but sounds exciting. I can only imagine how busy you are, but it's exciting. I can feel your passion and the cost of molding the future for these young scholars. All right, so you pretty much covered the next two questions, but would this would be the last question. What keeps you committed to making a positive impact as one of the NID HBCU point of contact?
So honestly, knowing for one that there's this, major quality of life enhancement, as it pertains to being financial literate, having that financial literacy, knowing that it's just not something that is taught in the schools. It's not a part of the traditional curriculum when it's something that's so important if you're going to be successful in life. I mean, if you're going to be successful in life, you have to be able to be successful in your finances. And so, what encourages me to continue doing this is empowering, young scholars to, and not just the young scholars, but also, the faculty, the staff, and the communities, the members of the community to know what they need to know to be successful financially. Also, knowing that there's such a great racial wealth gap is something else that keeps me very passionate about serving, the HBCUs. I understand that, with us being so behind, what better way to start is by educating and empowering young people to start building wealth at an early age.
All right. So thank you so much. This has been a learning experience for me. I just had an interview with Mr. Danny Felton last week, and you guys are so inspiring. The passion and the commitment is there, and that is what makes you successful on helping others. So thank you for joining me tonight, and I would love to see more of your amazing works on how you touch people's lives. You have a wonderful evening, Miss Denise. Before we end this, is there anything else you want to add?
Other than that, I'm just truly grateful to be a part of the network, to be a part of the solution to issues that we have. It's just truly a blessing. I truly feel like I'm getting the opportunity to fulfill my God-given purpose in this earth. So I'm grateful.
All right. Thank you, Miss Denise. And I salute you for what you do. And you have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.